But with how ByuN played last night, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna predict ByuN.
Oh, interesting. See, I'm kind of feeling the HeroMarine a little bit more.
Yeah,
here.
no, that's reasonable.
So this time around, guys, we've got HeroMarine here in the top left, in the red, and down in the bottom right in the blue, it is ByuN. And immediately here with the SCV coming out from HeroMarine, looks like we're going to get a proxy.
All right, now is it going to be a single proxy barracks? Are we going to see two? We'll see momentarily. There comes the second one. So a 2 proxy racks Reaper is probably going to be the name of the game here for HeroMarine. Let's see how ByuN does on that defense.
You know, it's kind of funny because if you covered up the IDs, I'd say this is ByuN doing this,
Yeah,
but it's actually going to be HeroMarine coming out right away. And this is kind of a cool opener. You know, out of all the kind of games we could have envisioned here, this was not one I was really expecting, was for HeroMarine to go to a rush right away.
No, yeah, that's actually a really good point. It seems like if I had to guess where he was going to open up, like probably a more standard game number 1, but maybe this is a good way to just kind of set the pace, right? If you can pick up that first win or throw ByuN off, with him also not expecting this, it's a great choice.
So the 2 barracks are about to finish. We want to watch very carefully how ByuN tries to set this up, because rushes like this are really engineered to try to come in there and pierce the defenses immediately. And wow, okay, we are in for a bit of a surprise, Artosis.
Yeah.
A tech lab has been added. This should be for Marauders.
Yeah, this is kind of exciting. I really did not expect for this to be the build, but there is a second gas right there. Marauder on the way. 2 racks proxy Marauder. Of course, you'll get the concussive shells with this, and like that's going to be really hard to stop.
Yeah, we don't see this very often, but every once in a while we have some kind of proxy Marauder stuff. Now, ByuN has made his first Reaper and sent that out, and this is a very inconvenient moment for the Reaper to be out on the map here. He peeks down there for any proxies and doesn't see anything, but that could only make it worse here, right? As he's going to be coming on in just a little bit.
Yeah, I do have to say, there is one really good thing here for ByuN. He made his command center in his main base.
Yeah.
So, like, if you're making it down on the low ground, it's dead, right? Like, the Marauders will easily kill it off. But here, it's like, okay, well, will he be able to maybe get a bunker up and hold on for a little bit with all of his buildings in his main?
Artosis, I might be wrong here. I might have missed this. Did ByuN actually scout?
He scouted just around the periphery.
So he literally, you know, normally we see an SCV go across the map or, you know, and come in there and you see the lack of anything in the base. So this is going to be a blindsiding rush here from HeroMarine.
Yeah, and you can see ByuN shake in his hand immediately. HeroMarine going to get through that first depot immediately. And dude, he's going to pull like every SCV here to have a chance.
Yeah, the Marauders are going to come up right now. The SCV's trying to surround them. They do get around one Marauder. Nice control.
Yeah, that was a good drill overall, but there's just so many Marauders in here. The SCV's being picked off oh so quickly. He does have a couple Marines there, but they are getting targeted down as well, and HeroMarine continues to pile on the damage.
So many SCVs so low on HP. A few Marines are being made to try to come out. Another Marauder's going to come in and reinforce with the group. And I just don't know how much longer, you know, ByuN's going to be able to hang on here. That was a lot of SCVs that were killed.
It was a lot of SCVs that were killed, but the actual SCV count is not bad compared to HeroMarine. He's down 2, but he has 2 command centers. He has a factory.
Yeah.
Like, he's getting a starport right now on that tech lab, so probably into a Banshee. If he just continues to hold this, HeroMarine's in trouble.
Well, hold on a second. He's going to be in range of the tank, and Marauder's so strong, but so many SCVs here repairing. And it backfires. ByuN takes game number 1.
Dude, when I saw ByuN shake his head when the Marauders came up the ramp, I didn't know that it was going to end like that.
It was so funny, and if you know any Korean, I know exactly what he said, which I can't repeat, but it was a very funny moment. You know, if you can't get up into the main with the Marauders, and really that was a pretty important dive there from HeroMarine. You know, he's trying to get in there. If he kills the tank, maybe he could snowball the game, but if you have enough SCVs around that and you repair it in time, it's backfired and there's no way to recover.
Well, I tell you, ByuN actually did get a little bit lucky there, like the command center in the main base, right into the factory. Nothing was too close to the ramp or anything. He was like trying to hide what he was doing, and it worked out defensively very well. He also placed the siege tank like in a perfect position. So Honestly, that was a masterful defense from ByuN.
Yeah, I mean, a great game from ByuN. It was one of those moments where, I mean, honestly, as the rush was coming up, I thought, well, this couldn't be better, right? For HeroMarine.
Yeah.
But he does come in there, and, you know, ultimately ByuN holds it. There's a reason why we don't see that strat really ever, or at least not that often. Occasionally we have some kind of proxy marauder stuff. But it's funny, too, because the strategy, the idea itself worked. I mean, ByuN didn't scout. It was about as good of a possible situation for the aggressor, and it still failed.
Yeah. Well, I tell you, that has to be a little bit demoralizing for HeroMarine, because I bet you when he went up that ramp and got the depot that quickly, and then the SCV's drill, and he kills like 16, you're probably feeling pretty good. But here we go. He's down 0-1. Can HeroMarine come back in game 2?
All right, guys, we are ready to get into this game, and hopefully this one is going to be a little bit longer, as I think a real late game with these two would be pretty exciting.
Oh, I would love to see it, all the maneuvering that would take place. But it matters on how they want to open. Maybe it's time for ByuN to rush.
All right, over here in the upper left, in the red, make some noise for HeroMarine. And in the bottom right, in the blue, from Korea, he is ByuN.
I tell you, if ByuN takes down HeroMarine now, it really opens the group up even more. We've been having a lot of matches like that today where the group leaders are not able to hold on to that advantage.
Yeah, I mean, it's, I don't know, man, so far this tournament has just been so good. There's been so many great games, so many plot twists. So good to have you guys down here in the audience. This is going to be a great event.
Dude, all the way from Panama. Very nice. Thank you for coming down, guys. And I mean, it's a tournament to remember. The World Championships of StarCraft 2. It doesn't get better than this.
It does not, Artosis. Going into this game, we should point out immediately, there's not going to be any kind of crazy rushes, at least not involving proxies. Both sides are teching up. I believe HeroMarine had 2 gases, whereas ByuN actually just went for 1.
Yeah, so ByuN very likely here to go ahead, grab his command center quite quickly, whereas HeroMarine, of course, going to go for a factory follow-up. We'll see what he does with it. I mean, it's a pretty common opener anyways. You can just expand after that factory as well.
Okay, that SCV is going to come down, spot the command center. ByuN is definitely going to be, you know, the one on the receiving end here to start things off, because when you don't see HeroMarine going for command center right away, it can only mean he needs to be aggressive.
Well, with getting out the early Hellions and everything, you might want to do something like get a bunker up over on ByuN's side of the map. But his command center, of course, going to be a lot faster, be able to work up that mineral count a bit. And I'm really hoping, as you said, that they get into a macro game this time. I don't want to see anyone just fall right away.
Yeah, I mean, it would be really fun to see, you know, how these two would interact with each other, because ByuN is such a micro-intensive player and so good at taking these fights that pretty much nobody else in the world can win.
Yeah, no, he's very good at figuring out how to break areas, like breaking these siege tank lines with a mostly marine-based force. Yeah. It doesn't even make sense when you say it. You kind of have to giggle and be like, yeah, I don't know, ByuN does it, though.
He does make it work. And so this game continues onward here at a little bit of a slower pace. We're going to have a later command center come down now here for HeroMarine. Bunker getting set up here at the entrance. It looks like this will just barely finish in time. Like, literally, the SCV just barely gets inside there. And, you know, it's funny, these Reapers have just not quite done anything. They've been close to doing some real damage.
Yeah, that's too bad there for HeroMarine. It really, ByuN wins that engagement very handily.
Yeah.
He doesn't lose anything, really. He even swapped his SCVs over to the bunker, got his orbital going. Like a perfect opener for ByuN so far.
It's a funny moment that illustrates why StarCraft really is a game of seconds, because those Reapers get up there just a little bit quicker, and they probably would have killed 2 or 3 SCVs.
Yeah, delay the command center, delay the orbital, kill the Marine, get 2 SCVs. You're 100% right about that. Like, things would have gotten out of control pretty quickly.
So, you know, pretty masterful defense there from ByuN. Again, not going to have the biggest impact on this game, but it is interesting to see that already he's off to a pretty good start.
Now Cyclone coming up here for ByuN. Both sides going towards that Raven Tech, which is just so important in Terran versus Terran. and HeroMarine immediately into a siege tank.
Yeah, and this is all very common here, massing up Ravens and tanks here in the mid game. Historically, TVT was viewed as kind of a slower matchup and a little bit more of a slog, but that was really because of the way that Terran vs. Terran was played in StarCraft 1. The longer StarCraft 2 is played, and as every year passes, it does seem to be like an incredibly explosive matchup, actually.
Yeah, I think just the damage output and the mobility of the Marines and Medevacs, coupled with the like overwhelming defense or offense of the siege tanks, it is such a positional game, but a very fluid positional game, right? You're not just making a siege line and turrets and whatnot. You're kind of all over the place trying to get these other angles and get that gigantic advantage you can get if your opponent is out of position, even for a moment.
A lot of times we're going to see the Ravens used to try to disable the tanks. For a moment, they might try to push in. We don't see a third command center being started on either side, so they're going to be powering on 2 bases. There's a lot of interesting scenarios you can get in, especially on a map like this where you might end up going by each other with your armies.
Yeah, we have actually had a lot of Terran versus Terran base trades this week, and those have been some of our best games, to be honest.
So it looks like shortly here we're going to be moving out. The stim timing, by the way, is very different. ByuN stim is nearly done, where HeroMarine, his is a little bit less than halfway done. So if ByuN is active on the map with those stim Marines, I mean, that's basically the biggest upgrade in the matchup in some ways, because stimmed Marines are so much better than non-stimmed Marines. So it's possible we're going to see ByuN activate himself on the map shortly here.
Oh, you're definitely right about that. That's what ByuN wants to do anyways. Like, this is his lifeblood, is being aggressive with Marines and Medevacs. Now, unsieging his tanks, getting ready to get out there as stim is finishing up. Looks like we might have just a little bit of a supply block there for ByuN, but remedying it as quickly as he can.
And he's going to be moving out on the map here. And every once in a while, we do have these games where one 2-base Terran comes out and actually pushes in and kills another 2-base Terran. It does happen. And this game might be one of them, because HeroMarine is moving out. Now, he's trying to quietly navigate through the upper right side of the map to drop in the main. But it looks to me like this push is going to get here at the most ideal moment now for ByuN.
Yeah, that definitely could occur. ByuN is in the middle of the map, so he has like a shorter distance, but he's turning around with part of his army, 2 medevacs going off to the side. So this right now looks better for HeroMarine, I would say, because he has a bunch of units at home. Now here he goes, boosting into that main base. We'll see if ByuN's able to do the same on the other side, but first, he's got to deal with this.
Okay, as you can see, the SCVs are going to come up here now, try to defend. 2 medevacs and Marines can do a lot of damage, so ByuN needs to be very careful to take this out and do it correctly, and it looks like he's going to kite away, pick up, and suffer almost no losses. Meanwhile, a mirrored situation on the other side of the map.
But is he going to be able to get any real damage here? It's not really looking like it. Auto turrets coming down, trying to kill these off, but
it was a very odd moment there.
Yeah, the auto turrets.
Yeah.
If he didn't have the boost, it could have been good, but he had the boost. So it's like, hey, I want those to be slightly damaged.
Yeah, very strange moment. He's, used up the energy there for the Raven, which means he might not, have some, will be lacking opportunities later on. The drop's going to continue on down here as he tries to target down the command center. ByuN comes up and drives him away. But there's another big drop inbound here, just over in the far right.
And look at this, ByuN actually flanking those Marines. He's going to catch every last one. Well, this drop coming in from HeroMarine definitely has a lot of potential.
Oh my God.
Going across the map, we might get into a base trade here, Tasteless.
Artosis, there's almost nothing here to defend for HeroMarine, but the drop's already happened here in the main.
Oh man, the disable on the siege tank as well. HeroMarine going to deal a ton of damage, but ByuN pulling the trigger at the same time. We are having a base trade.
1 tank disabled. The Marines slowly clean up everything that HeroMarine is going to have. He's going to be able to get inside the main.
Oh my God, picks off those tanks before the disable runs out. His tank's coming up here as well. HeroMarine moving in that picture-in-picture down towards the natural, going for more damage, trying to get rid of the mining of his opponent, but ByuN sitting on top of this production in HeroMarine's base. What a great move.
This is getting crazy right now. Who actually has the bigger army? It seems like ByuN is slightly better set here. Did the command center, the natural, actually fly away? I think it was killed off. No,
Oh, man,
it's sorry,
yeah.
it's on the move.
So he does have that, but right now HeroMarine has 0 SCVs. 0. Okay, so he has to utilize mules and like build up very slowly. ByuN has almost no money, but I feel like he has a slightly better army here, and obviously a lot of SCVs he was able to save.
And, you know, obviously it should go without saying, but I'll say it anyways. The conditions to lose the game are your buildings are destroyed. we never actually see games go to that point, but this is going to be a game where we actually need to watch for that, right? Like the player with the smaller army might end up killing off all the buildings before the bigger player can.
Yeah, and I mean, I don't want to jump the gun, but this game does look like one that has some little potential for a draw.
Yes.
We get like so few of those each year.
Yeah, nobody has a Viking, right? So there's no, if you can get
That's right. That's right. If you get rid of the command centers and there's like not a Viking on the map, okay, we can actually get a draw at that point. But right now, the SCVs coming up here is going to try to save that command center. If that can get up here and he's sieged up, I mean, this is literally a base trade.
Yes,
like
literally. He's actually setting the command center in here.
They traded each other's bases, but now he's stealing the natural of HeroMarine.
Okay, so this command center is going to land, and as Artosis mentioned earlier, there's SCVs for ByuN. They're really, I think there's one right now here for HeroMarine. Both of the players are supply blocked. There's a possibility HeroMarine tries to use Disable here with the Raven to try to come up there. Oh, he wanted to try to do a Marine bomb. And, and pull over some of the splash damage.
This is so crazy. I can't believe what I'm looking at.
Right now, you got to remember, too, HeroMarine barely has money coming in. So any damage on a tank is a big deal because he might not be able to repair it that easily. And in fact, HeroMarine's going to just try to inch over here to the right.
By the way, we have to point this out.
Oh my God! Oh my God! He just
killed the Raven. Yeah, that's not good. Loses one of those very important Ravens, so ByuN does tie that up. But one of the most important things here, Tasteless, is HeroMarine did get an SCV out before he lost all his depots, which is incredibly important because he has to build depots before he can make more SCVs, like quite a few. You see him making them over and over and over here.
And it looks like HeroMarine's still supply blocked. Not that he's got a lot of infrastructure, but, you know, he's basically in the negative right now and has to sort that out before he can even begin to focus on development.
Oh, my God.
Whereas ByuN already has 2 barracks over here, and he's about to have an additional command center in what was the starting location of HeroMarine.
So what you're telling me is that ByuN is expanding from HeroMarine's natural to HeroMarine's main.
Yes.
This is a great game.
This is. We got lucky with this one, Artosis. Things are starting to look worse here for HeroMarine. Not only is he behind economically, but he's in this low ground area just outside the base. I guess he can try to expand again over to the upper right. Nice little snipe there on the starport.
Yeah, that's actually a really big deal. Something like a Viking or a Liberator would be absolutely amazing here. So, and that is the one thing that HeroMarine does have going on for himself. He is actually already producing some new units.
Yeah, he's got 1 factory, 1 barracks, and 1 starport. And I think there's 2 barracks in the main for ByuN. And, okay, there's a factory made as well. This is definitely not the easiest game to follow.
And he's moving out with double medevac. Where, like, is he just going to fly around the command center and land on the other side? It's not like there's bases out there for HeroMarine he needs to find.
Seems to me like if ByuN got to it, he could just drop on those tanks. Oh, I guess not now. There's more Marines coming in here now. But we're still waiting. You know, there's enough energy with that Raven. He might try some auto turrets or maybe a disable. I thought he might go down south and end up right into those Marines. Keep in mind that I don't think you can use the gas at that natural expansion either, which just the one on the right of that.
Yeah, that's a little bit annoying, but like the economy is so much better right now for ByuN. But look, a Liberator comes out. So air dominance does belong to HeroMarine. Again, he's in a tough spot, but he's getting SCVs out. He's at 8 SCVs now. He's building some of these tech units. I think he knows that he is very much on a clock to kill ByuN.
Yeah, he has to get something done pretty quickly. And there is a bunch of Marines in the back. You can see that ByuN is forked them out a little bit, spread them out so the splash damage won't be distributed so evenly onto them.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
I mean, he's getting this command center in the red, Artosis. This may have to lift off.
Dude, if HeroMarine breaks him, that is going to be absolutely amazing. But ByuN is getting a good amount of units. Look at this. Oh my God, the armor shred comes in from both sides. The flank goes down. A couple of auto turrets up on that high ground, though. Does ByuN have enough Marines?
He is surrounding this, and I don't think there's anything the HeroMarine can do now. ByuN takes this game at a 2-0.
Oh man, what a game there from ByuN. 2-0 over HeroMarine, greatly increasing his standing within the group.